Did you know that a simple hug can completely change the way a woman sees you? If you respond the wrong way, you might end up being seen as just another ordinary guy. But if you do it right, she won't be able to get you out of her head. Today's video, I'm going to show you exactly what to do to turn a hug into an unforgettable experience. Stay until the end, because there's one detail that most men overlook that can make all the difference. Have you ever noticed how a hug can completely change the way a woman perceives you? This simple gesture carries intense emotional weight, and if done correctly, it can keep her thinking about you for hours, maybe even days. The problem is that most men see a hug as something automatic, without really understanding the impact it can have. But the truth is, a well-executed hug can awaken deep emotions in a woman, making her feel protected, desired, and connected to you on an instinctive level. Imagine this: you meet a woman you like, whether at work, the gym, or even at a coffee shop you both frequent. When the time comes for a hug, your reaction can say a lot about your confidence and masculine presence. If you give a quick, weak hug, it's as if you're saying, "Whatever." On the other hand, if you balance intensity and timing just right, she'll feel something different about you. Women are highly sensitive to body language, and a hug conveys messages that words never could. A hug isn't just a sign of affection, it activates a woman's emotional memory. If she feels that your hug carried intention, presence, and masculine energy, her mind will associate that moment with a positive feeling. And the most interesting part, this can make her see you in a completely different way. If she previously saw you as just another guy, now she might start wondering what's special about you. Small details like this make all the difference in how she perceives you and how attracted she feels to you. So the next time you hug a woman, don't do it on autopilot. Be present in the moment, show confidence, and take control of the situation. The difference between men who leave a lasting impression on women and those who are easily forgotten is how they make women feel. And a hug can be the first step in leaving your mark on her mind. Have you ever paid attention to how you respond to hugs? Many men believe that a hug is just a simple greeting, but have you ever analyzed how you react to one? The way you respond can reveal important traits about your personality, such as confidence, security, and even your level of interest. If your hug is hesitant or lacks energy, it can give off a sense of weakness or disinterest. On the other hand, if it's too exaggerated or unnecessarily long, it can come across as invasive. Finding the right balance is what separates an ordinary hug from a memorable one. Now, think about the last hug you received from a woman. Did you just return it automatically, or did you notice how she reacted to the contact? Small signs, like the way she positions her body or how she releases the hug, can reveal a lot about how she feels in that moment. Responding with presence and attention to these details can turn a simple gesture into an opportunity to create a connection. Many men go unnoticed because they aren't aware of these subtle nuances, missing out on an essential aspect of attraction. Every woman reacts differently to a hug, which is why observing her response is crucial. If, when she hugs you, she gets closer than necessary or holds the contact a little longer, it could be a sign of comfort and interest. But if the hug is distant, quick, or formal, it might indicate that she doesn't feel at ease yet. Your ability to read these signals and adjust your response shows social intelligence and maturity, qualities that women find attractive in a man. Now, I want to hear from you. How do you usually react when you receive a hug? Do you pay attention to how you respond, or have you never thought about it before? Leave your answer in the comments. Your experience could help other men better understand this small detail that makes all the difference in attraction and relationships with women. The secret to the right intensity and timing. The duration of a hug can say more than words. If it's too short, it can convey impatience or indifference. If it's excessively long, it can create discomfort. The ideal hug lasts just long enough to show presence without overstepping the moment. Holding it for just 1 second longer than expected can create positive tension, leaving a lasting memory in her mind. This small difference in timing transforms a routine gesture into a meaningful experience. Intensity also makes all the difference. A weak, loose hug can come across as insecurity or lack of interest. On the other hand, a hug that's too rigid can be interpreted as a need for control. The perfect balance is a firm yet natural embrace that exudes confidence without feeling forced. When a woman feels she's in the arms of a man who knows exactly what he's doing, it triggers a sense of security and admiration, subtly strengthening attraction. Another important detail is how you adjust the intensity based on the situation. If the hug is a reunion after some time apart, a slight squeeze can show that you missed her. If it's a goodbye, releasing her slowly can create a sense of anticipation and desire. The secret isn't just in the duration, but in how you guide the moment, ensuring the gesture feels spontaneous and engaging. Each situation calls for a different approach, and your awareness of the moment determines the hug's impact. Observing the context, her body language, and the energy of the interaction allows you to make the best decision. Small details like this create experiences that linger in her memory, making her associate your presence with positive feelings. The body language that turns a simple hug into a memorable moment. A hug goes far beyond physical contact. It involves silent communication that can stir deep emotions. Your body is constantly sending messages, and the way you position your arms, hands, and even the tilt of your head can influence how she perceives you. Small adjustments in your posture can turn an ordinary hug into an unforgettable experience. If you maintain a relaxed yet firm presence, she feels secure. If your body seems tense or hesitant, the connection is lost. Hand placement also plays a crucial role. A subtle touch on the upper back conveys closeness without invading her space. A gentle brush of your fingers as you release the hug can extend the feeling of connection even after the physical contact has ended. The key is to make every movement feel natural, neither rushed nor exaggerated. When done correctly, this subtle detail creates a powerful psychological effect, making her remember the sensation of your touch even after you've parted ways. Another element that can heighten the impact of a hug is breathing. Taking a deep breath while holding the embrace for just a moment creates a calm rhythm and conveys presence. Depending on the level of intimacy, subtly moving your face closer without touching can build pleasant tension, leaving the possibility of something more in the air. This creates a subtle play between closeness and mystery, stimulating her emotions without a single word. Every woman reacts differently, but all of them can sense when a man has control over his body language. A hug is just one part of the equation. What makes it special is the combination of gestures and expressions that go along with it. When you master this, she won't just feel the difference. She'll start seeing you in a whole new light. How to release a hug to leave a psychological impact. The way a hug ends is just as important as the moment it happens. Letting go too quickly can give the impression of impatience or lack of interest, while holding on for too long can create discomfort. The ideal approach is to find a natural rhythm, leaving a brief pause between the contact and the complete separation. This small gap in time creates a sense of continuity, making it feel as though the connection isn't ending right there, but instead lingers in her mind. A subtle detail that makes all the difference is the final touch before letting go. If you simply step back without any complimentary gesture, the impact of the hug fades quickly. But if, as you release her, your hand gently glides down her arm or lingers for a brief moment on her waist before pulling away, it creates a lasting impression. This final touch acts as a sensory reminder, activating her tactile and emotional memory, which makes her continue feeling your presence even after the contact is over. Eye contact right after the hug further enhances this effect. Holding her, gaze for just a second before looking away, conveys confidence and intention, creating a sense of anticipation. If the connection between you is already established, a subtle smile can reinforce the memory of that moment even more. These small actions, when done naturally, make the interaction more engaging and increase the chances that she'll think about you later. What separates an ordinary man from one who leaves a lasting impression is attention to detail. Knowing when and how to release a hug might seem simple, but this kind of refinement is exactly what sets apart those who go unnoticed from those who leave a memorable impact. She may not even be able to explain why, but if you do it right, she'll feel that there's something special about you. When to use this technique to spark attraction. Not every hug has the same impact, and knowing when to apply these techniques can make all the difference. In casual situations, like a quick greeting, a subtle yet controlled touch conveys presence without forcing intimacy. But in more meaningful moments, like a reunion or a farewell, a slight adjustment in intensity and duration can deepen the emotional connection. The key is understanding the context and adapting your approach so that the gesture feels spontaneous and natural. If you already have a certain level of closeness, a hug can be an opportunity to increase attraction without saying a word. A casual meetup at a coffee shop, a walk outdoors, or a relaxed moment after a deep conversation are all ideal situations to create a stronger impact. A slightly prolonged hug, combined with eye contact when letting go, can leave a sense of anticipation and desire in the air. This kind of detail completely changes how she perceives your presence. Another strategic time to use this technique is when the relationship is still in its early stages. A memorable first hug can set the tone for future interactions, distinguishing you from other men she has encountered. If she feels something different in your touch, even if she can't quite explain it, it sparks an instinctive curiosity. Women tend to remember sensations, and a well-executed hug can make her associate you with positive and captivating emotions. However, it's also essential to recognize when not to overdo it. If the moment doesn't call for an intense hug, keeping it brief and respectful can be more effective than trying to create intimacy in a forced way. The goal isn't to impress her instantly, but rather to plant a sensory memory that resonates over time. When you match the energy of the hug to the right moment, the connection strengthens naturally, leaving her looking forward to the next interaction. Avoid these common mistakes that ruin the impact of a hug. Many men don't realize that small mistakes in the way they hug can weaken their connection with a woman. One of the most common errors is a lack of firmness in the embrace. A hug that feels empty, where the arms simply rest on her without intention, can come across as insecure or indifferent. If the gesture doesn't convey anything meaningful, it becomes forgettable. Adjusting the intensity to create a secure and comfortable touch makes all the difference in how she reacts and perceives your energy. Another frequent mistake is going overboard with strength or duration when it's unnecessary. A hug that's too tight can feel invasive, especially if she's not yet completely comfortable. Likewise, holding on for too long without the right context can create discomfort. The key to avoiding this is picking up on her signals and adjusting your touch so that the hug feels natural and welcome. When done correctly, a hug sparks curiosity and desire without feeling forced. Your posture during the hug also plays a big role in the experience. A misaligned, tense, or backward-leaning body can disrupt the flow of the moment, making the gesture feel mechanical. Keeping a relaxed posture without rushing demonstrates control and confidence. Additionally, avoiding abrupt movements when releasing the hug helps maintain the smoothness of the interaction, reinforcing the impression of a man who knows what he's doing. The goal is for the gesture to flow naturally, without sudden breaks, extending the positive sensation. Finally, never underestimate the impact of a careless ending. If, after releasing the hug, you simply step away without any eye contact or expression, the connection weakens. A light final touch on her arm, a subtle smile, or a direct gaze can turn an ordinary gesture into a memorable experience. These small details are what separate a typical hug from one she'll remember and want to experience again. If you enjoyed these tips and want to keep learning how to improve your presence and impact in interactions with women, subscribe to the channel now. That way, you won't miss upcoming videos with even more powerful strategies. And since you've made it this far, take the opportunity to watch the next video that's appearing on your screen right now. There's another secret there that can completely change the way women perceive you. Click and watch!